What's up, guys? My name's Alex Nelson.
And I'm Tyler Bailey,
We want to welcome you to Versed
where we talk about our life experiences that have brought us here.
and becoming more versed into what matters to us. Let's get it.
Ready for this?
Are you ready? Are you nervous?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Okay.
Jude, are you hanging or what are you going to do? It's going to be a little bit. So if you end up leaving, you got to make sure that you're very, very quiet, that you don't cause a scene. So you're just going to stand there for the next 30 minutes?
He trips over the box on his way out.
We should just take a picture of Jude for the cover photo.
Exactly.
It'll
like
just
this.
be him doing that, and people are like, what is this? I need to watch.
What's fun?
Here's the deal, Jude. If you do stay here, you can't talk. You can't make any comments. You can't respond. You can't interact with what's happening behind the camera. Okay?
You can't ask questions right now,
Nothing.
okay?
Promise? It's a big deal. Can we trust you? I believe you. Okay? You have to be extremely quiet and not say a word and not make a sound.
Slowly take your headphones off and then just give it to Elijah and then just tiptoe.
Can you do that? Yeah? All right.
I trust you. Okay, you're out?
He's out.
Oh, you're okay, so you're staying here.
Oh, but he's just going to
He's
take
gonna
the headphones off right now.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's good.
You're gonna stand or you're gonna sit? Okay. But like that, you can't make that noise, okay?
Episode 005. Welcome back to Versed.
Dadgummit.
Dude, it wouldn't be a first episode without something ridiculously happening at the beginning.
Drop my phone.
Okay, we said we'd have special guests on. This isn't a special guest, though. This is one of my very best friends, and he pretty much has his hand on Verse because he's spoken into existence as well. David Ryan Cook, welcome to the freaking show, baby.
Boys, it's the pleasure's all mine. What can I say?
Come on.
Really appreciate it.
This is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
episode...
It's an honor.
This is episode 5, but episode 1 for Dave of 1,000 probably.
Infinity.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
And
I've got a
beyond.
backstage pass to Versed, and I really appreciate the
Oh, yeah.
the kind favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just stare at you the whole time.
Let's go,
Just
dude.
look deep into my
It
eyes.
just look deep in my soul.
Isn't that Indiana Jones in Disneyland when he goes, look deep into my eyes?
Oh, the
Yeah, at the beginning. It's kind of
when you're going through the door.
Yeah.
You looked into my eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
I love
Look
it.
deep into my eyes. Speaking of Disneyland, that's been fun lately.
It has. It's a week ago. You said it a couple hours ago. You said it's a week today that we were all at Disney together.
It was a week ago today that we were all at Disney together.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I'm kind of working through some Disney.
PTSD?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it trauma. I'd call it more of an invasion of my own preferences. Actually, it's just something I'm working through as a dad right now. Trying to fight the parking, get on the tram.
Sure.
Be redirected by Disney employees when I'm trying to walk one way and they're telling me a parade's coming that way. So I got to go a mile around the other side of the park from Tomorrowland to Frontierland and carrying all my family's jackets on my back.
You can't
It's
think
just
about
stuff like
yourself.
that. Yeah, it's just but I love it. I really do.
Which you have if you're carrying the whole family's jackets. You have your jacket if you brought one. You have your wife, Karina.
Yeah.
You have Jude.
Yeah.
You have Elle.
Yeah.
And you have Jonah.
Yeah, it's a lot of jackets.
And if there's a double by chance, shoot, there could be 6.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still fun.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on it. Let's put it that way. But
How would you define headache?
Oh,
You can give one or two scenarios, but how would you define headache?
probably 6 Tylenols.
And a bunch of salt.
Okay. I've been waiting this whole time. I'm I wonder if they're gonna.
I got a headache right now. Actually,
Can we get this man some Tylenol?
it has nothing to
please?
do with Disney. Actually, it has everything to do with my sodium intake for the day. I'm sorry, my sodium intake for the year was just completed in the last 45 minutes. So
I literally asked that question hoping it would be
My
Disney.
gosh. So, if you're listening, backstory, We had dinner prior to this, and we cooked a bunch of steaks on the Traeger. Alex was in charge of seasoning, and he basically, if there was a pool of salt, that steak swam for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the steaks, if we're going with that context, that analogy, you treated the steaks like Michael Phelps. They are Olympians in the pool.
Oh my
and
gosh.
The water is salt.
I'm so
So
embarrassed.
That's it.
absolutely.
Dave has a permanent seat at the table on this show. By the way,
It's hard to breathe.
yeah, by the way, though, it's also hard to breathe when David's hitting those high notes on Oil and Offering, man. Which just came out, which literally just came out, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? When was it?
A little over
3 weeks
three.
ago
Yeah, a
now?
little over 3.
Goodness, time is
But
flying.
I really appreciate that segue. That was incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, versed. What do we call them? Versed universe. I don't know. Who are we talking to?
We're talking to
Whoever
we're talking
you
to the
are
universe
out
of
there,
verse,
if
yeah.
you're a fan of Verse, this is your first time listening. Maybe it's been 10 years since this episode came out, and you just found this. I want to just redirect your attention to a single I just released in the year 2024 called "Oil and Offering," my first debut single as an artist.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
And it's sick. Like, it's tight.
that.
First
It's
of all,
powerful.
every time that David's in the prayer room and you see him get the phone out, you're like,
Oh, every time.
so prayer.
Every
Alex and
time.
I have mentioned we have prayer Tuesday and Thursday at Oceans Church. And David Cook here is usually leading prayer for us. And part of that time is, he's leading us in worship. During worship, you'll see Dave bring out his phone, and it's usually some type of spontaneous download that Jesus has given him of just, there's just these words that are just clicking in his mind. And all of a sudden, there's this new melody that comes out of his mouth, and it's a hit.
Oh, yeah, every time.
Always a hit.
Every
Appreciate
time.
that.
It is.
It's one of my toxic traits, actually, bringing a phone out in the middle of an offering ministry moment time.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've ever been in a service, I promise you, I'm not trying to reorganize my fantasy team on Sunday morning.
The truth be
I'm
told.
not trying to check the scores or anything like that. I'm honestly either changing something in my in-ear mix or trying to record a quick melody. Because here's the thing about melodies: you think that you'll remember it.
This is good.
You
This
do.
is good.
Because in the moment you're kind of, you got this vibe going in your head and you're like, dude, that's really good. So you're like, surely I'm going to know, be able to recall what this is, you know, after service, later today. I've learned to not trust that instinct at all. The mind is a very fascinating thing, and how quickly those melodies can be fleeting. So I just pull out my phone really quick, hit the voice memo app. So basically my voice memos are full of thousands of recordings of me in the background of some service, whether it's Pastor Mark or wherever I'm at in whatever church I'm at. Somebody's preaching, somebody's giving an altar call, and I'm like trying to piece together this melody. So it's chaotic,
Dude,
it's
that's
hectic, but that's how I roll, bro.
So basically, your phone is a bank of songs,
It is.
untapped songs.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
untapped
no,
potential.
it is. There's probably songs in there that will never come to pass, but if I really wanted to spend time to go into them, I could find something like, oh yeah, that was really good. Maybe I should spend some time with it. So
That countless of times, especially from my perspective, every time there's a down moment and I see him reach his hand in his pocket, I always tell myself he has a song.
Oh, here's that one hit
Or
right
he
here.
has
coming.
he
It's
has a
coming.
melody, song, or it's a phrase, or he hears a word or something, and he has to,
Yeah.
because that's the
Yeah.
only time, because you might forget it, which I'm sure you've probably forgotten. In those
yeah,
moments.
no, I have. There's been moments where I'm like, this was really good, and then I can't for the life of me remember it. And I get so bummed out, and I'll like search for somebody that I saw either take a video out in the congregation, or I'll be like, do you have anything? And sometimes it is what it is. You just lose it forever, and that's the way it goes. So I've learned from my mistakes. But
Would you say that's one of the most fun things? Come on, somebody. I just went there. Another segue.
fun.
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 P-H-U-N.
Could go
fun.
anywhere. Yeah, we're going fat farm on this, bro. Give me the pH, okay?
Speaking of the pH levels, But would you say, in all seriousness, would you say that that's one of the most fun things that you do? Like if like, okay, we're talking about just what is fun,
Right.
right? We're talking this episode. We're just literally talking about what's
Nuff.
fun. What is fun?
Nuff.
Nuff.
It's fun backwards.
Fun. Nuff. Unfay in Pig Latin.
Gave me the Pig Latin.
Yeah.
I would like the Pig Latin Bible translation from now on. Thank you very much.
Nerf.
It's got to be in there.
Nerf gun.
Has YouVersion added that yet?
I don't know.
Like a Pig Latin translation?
Oh, I had
That
no
would-
idea.
It's got to be in there.
That would be.
There's
actually
Gen
be
Z.
epic.
There's like all kinds of different, you
I
know.
only speak Pig Latin.
Is that really a thing?
Pig Latin's a thing.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah. Did you go to middle school?
No, man, he was at home all the time, being schooled there.
Yeah.
School hard knocks, huh?
Yeah.
That's a fat farm right there, bro.
My only school was Halo. Gears of War.
That's solid.
By the way, if my mom ever hears this, I'm going to get a text message
yeah,
from her.
yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, she's leaving a comment.
I
on
raised you.
I
that
raised you
Xbox
better.
boy.
She
Yeah.
will comment on our reel. Don't
Yeah.
worry. I love her. Shout
Yeah,
out, Lisa.
Yeah, your graveyard shift was strike one. Now Nerf is.
The best.
Hey, shout out Pete Mark if you're listening to this. We got some love. Verse got some love on
Hey.
Sunday.
Some love,
Yes, we
baby.
did.
The old
We got some
graveyard
love.
shift kind of phrasing. It's making its rounds.
That's going down in history on this podcast. That comment is going down in history.
Yeah.
baby.
Gosh.
That's going in the archives.
The fact that my
It's an
mom
almanac, like-
literally texted me the next day and said, "Hey, sweetie, graveyard? Really?" And you blame that on homeschool. That's your own fault.
It's the best.
Bless her.
I know. Bless my mom.
Bless her.
She's the best.
But again, in all seriousness,
Yes.
is that one of the most fun things that you could possibly do as far as being like a music creator, a song creator, a songwriter, an artist? Would that just be like, hey, I got this, like, oh man, like that's so much fun.
I mean, writing definitely has to be one of my most favorite things to be doing as a musician. But I think it also comes down to the environment in which you place yourself to be a part of and to be able to do things. And so the environment that we are at is a church that is so in love with the presence of God. And so from our prayer room to, our weekend services, different events that we have going on, it has created an atmosphere of so much joy in worship, in the word, the community that we have. So as a worship leader, as a songwriter, that is like one of my most favorite things to be a part of and to do, because when a melody does hit, when there's a moment of inspiration comes,
good.
what we call the prophetic, there's an edge, the Spirit of God starts to breathe on a moment. We're involved in a community that values that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really put fuel to my fire. It's how I'm wired. It's the kind of worship leader that I am, the kind of leader that I am, the kind of creative that I identify myself as being when it comes to the presence of God, is someone that's so driven by melody. And so I grew up kind of singing, but I didn't learn how to play an instrument until I was 23. And so melody has always been the thing that I've always kind of been able to attach myself to when it comes to ideas. And just the way my mind works, always. I've always got a song running through my head, whether it's already written or it's just the thing that I'm singing along to that day. So when you partner that with the presence of God, it creates such a joy to be able to capture a moment that feels eternal, but we can capture it and release it into something that can kind of serve the temporal.
It's crazy, actually.
It's good.
It's like unbeatable.
Yeah,
Unbeatable moments.
no doubt about it.
That's why.
How would you, let me ask you this. How would you, as a worship leader, but also a father, so maybe I can ask this.
You doing the staring at the
How
ceiling
can
thing
you,
again?
oh, yeah. I did that first episode. It just, something about those curtains
you're up
just
there.
captivate me.
Curtains are talking to you right now.
Maybe we should do the interview up there.
I swear there's a bug up there somewhere.
What would be an invitation that you can explain, like maybe as a lifestyle, but how could you invite other worship leaders, or as a father, like how do you find that place of joy and almost implementing it in your life, walking that out, seeing the fruit?
Yeah, I mean, engaging with my kids, with my wife, being able to actually kind of connect to what creates joy for them.
That's good.
has been something that I've had to learn a lot about, because obviously you have your preferences. You have the things that you like to do for fun, right? The things that you don't even have to think about, like what I just talked about. That's something that honestly it's just a byproduct of my nature. Put me in that environment, put me in any moment where music is being played, my mind's going to go there. It's my sweet spot. But when you start to, develop and build your life, get married, have kids, you are now, laying those preferences down to a degree, not of like, oh, that can't happen anymore. But it's like, no, I'm giving space for somebody else that I love to start to teach me what brings them joy.
That's good.
What helps them have fun. And so my wife, Karina, and I always joke about it because some days we'll talk about how, her idea of like an off day that we have, our ideas of fun can be like so polar opposite at times.
Sure.
Yeah.
But learning how to fall in love with what they love, even though that's not something you intrinsically kind of grew up loving, you love that person. And so you begin to acquire the traits that bring them joy, that bring the fun to their life. And it still might not be your first pick when it's like, what do I do in my own downtime?
Yeah.
But it's like it's adding to the repertoire of your life, of being able to just identify value and bring a sense of kind of connection to any environment that you're in, whether that's church, whether that's work, whether that's family, whether that's just your personal hobbies,
That's good.
friendships, things like that. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I swear, you know what's fun? Listening to Dave talk.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fun.
Just staring at his mouth the whole time.
It's melodic.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, thank you.
melodic.
Yeah.
It's wisdom.
Yes,
you.
it
I
is.
feel like there's butterflies flowing off your tongue
Wow.
sometimes because I'm like, whoa.
Beautiful.
Whoa.
Beautiful.
Feel it here.
I sure hope my wife listens to this. Baby, if you're out there, I just want you to know
yeah.
I love you. Hope the melody's coming out of my mouth right now. Just, you love hearing it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Karina's out there somewhere.
Oh, she's out there. All right.
She's out there somewhere listening.
She's the best.
She's proud.
She's my girl.
Love it.
Alex, what's fun to you?
In
Like
what,
what just gets you fired up?
in what way? From what place? Of life? Just in general?
Yeah, in general. Just a day in the life. You wake up.
Yeah,
Where do
like,
you go? Where are you at?
That part, yeah.
Well, one, I feed my cat.
Good old Marge, huh?
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah,
exactly
that.
what I wanted you to
Yeah,
say.
that's great.
Pure honesty, I love feeding my cat.
It's great. Tyler, what makes fun to you come alive? No. For me, like my everyday, I don't know if it's getting older. I'm extroverted, like 100% extroverted. But there's a part of me that like, I don't know. I think the older I get, I love being around people. But the time that I have with my wife is special. I think cooking is awesome. But sometimes we'll do like night walks sometimes. Or we'll just sit. We're on this season right now. We're watching a ton of Monk right now. Like we're on season 5.
I heard that's a good show.
Bro, Monk is
We're
awesome.
talking like this was on like the USA channel, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like
He's the
back in the day.
germophobic?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
totally.
He's like the greatest like Sherlock Holmes detective
Yes,
like
yes.
in what was it, San Francisco?
Yeah.
Basically like in America now. But that's like kind of like what we're doing. But
That's
like
amazing.
I don't know. I love having not just picking like a date night, but I think honestly times with my wife are awesome because we have a date night every second. It's like a date day
Yeah.
every second of each day
Yeah.
of the week. And that just fires me up.
You guys are very, very cute together.
I thank you.
Yeah.
Mariah's listening out there somewhere.
I catch
man.
you in moments where I'm like, that's really sweet.
I love it because we're quirky. Like to me, fun is we'll be at Target, she'll be in 2 aisles over, and I'll literally scream her name sometimes to the top of my lungs just to see what she'll do. And sometimes she won't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Or I can overhear her if it's like kind of like late at night. I can overhear her like in the coffee aisle. She's like, please stop. Like just stop.
Under her breath, she's
Oh
like,
yeah.
What do you do?
I beg of you.
I beg of you, dear God, please stop.
What do you do? Baby.
Baby!
Does she holler it back?
No.
No holler.
No holler.
No clap back, dude.
No.
Not this time.
Not even
There's
like
not
a
like
whistle?
there's not like a meet me in the middle
Right,
moment.
right.
She's like, please don't do that.
Like no Marco Polo vibes.
Oh,
whatsoever.
bro. Dude, there are some things I've done where I thought the definition was fun and it just went over my head and she'll pull me aside like, hey,
that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Just want to define this for you.
Remember what we discussed in the car? I'm just playing.
Now, baby, remember what I taught you.
Yeah, remember what we prayed about this morning?
You got to behave.
Yeah. Remember when you sipped coffee this morning? Remember what I told you?
We already discussed.
We already discussed it.
Yeah, we're done here.
I know. We all know from our wives,
nervous
it's the
laughter.
smile.
Just doesn't smile at me. In that sense.
Okay, let's the camera angle turn to Ty.
What did I just get into? No, Jess will just hit you with like a knife and be like, absolutely not. Scat. Like
She is
a spiritual knife. Come on. Like the word. Like it sharpens you and it digs you deep.
Yes.
Come on, somebody. It convicts you a little
Just
bit.
gut you.
Jessica Bailey could change her handle to Truth Teller Jess.
Ooh.
And nobody would bat an eye because that's just what Jess does. She's going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not.
She's going to tell you the truth, man. And
she's told you the truth.
one,
And
two,
the truth has
meditate.
set you free, boy.
It has. Look where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be sitting here.
That is true.
Doing this podcast
This
right
is
now.
true.
It's true, man. No, I think
Yeah,
honestly,
eyes are on you now because you opened up that cabinet yourself.
I almost don't know what to say.
We believe in you, boy.
Yeah.
You can do this.
No, I think what you said though is right. Like when it comes to like, even though my idea of like what my day would look like for fun, but then true fun would be like what actually fills me up, like what gives me like straight up joy. And a lot of the time now, I think it is with what my spouse wants. Like if I can help her on a daily basis or a nightly basis, whatever it is, whether it's like shooting content for her, going somewhere, for an event for her, like that's fun for me now. Before, like I always say this, but when I was a cop, I wanted nothing to do with social media, nothing to do with it. And then, once you said you needed to quit your job, and the truth did set me free. And then all of a sudden, here I am stepping into kind of like the same realm in the same industry.
Yep.
And so because of that, I think that is fun that we get to do life together. Like that is fun.
Absolutely.
Like that's the stuff that brings me joy. And ultimately, I think that's what brings like the Lord joy
it's
too.
good.
Like I want to do things that bring God joy at the end of the day to have fun.
Yep.
Like in 2 Timothy 2, it talks about like, don't get involved in civilian affairs. Like you're a soldier for Christ, right? But you can't please the officer if you're involved in civilian affairs.
Right.
John Tyson mentioned this. He goes, if you sit in front of the TV watching Yellowstone for 5 hours a night, right? It might be fun, but it's just stupid. It's not sinful. It's just stupid. It's
not helpful.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, I think more I look at it now too, like your fun is like using your gifts. Your fun is whether it is drumming or whether it is just spending time with your wife. It's stuff still that's glorifying the Lord. Yeah. And in the same way, I think it is like that for me too now. Before it would be like, my perfect day would be like, let's go get a round of golf in at 6 a.m.
Nice.
Let's go get a lift in at 10 a.m. And then, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't even think like that anymore. I still want to go to the gym every day. But other than that, like...
Yes, I can confirm.
Yeah, I was about to say, here in just a minute, I really want to talk about his legs.
I can confirm that he does like to go to the gym every day, but specifically today.
David went to CrossFit today. I really wish we got some footage of it.
If you're watching right now visually, just know that I can't feel my legs. I'm in a lot of pain right now. We did CrossFit today. I don't know why I said we, because I barely made it, dude.
Bro, you did it.
I have not done legitimate physical activity to that degree in a very long time.
Didn't you say 19 years?
I haven't done a squat in 19 years. Last time I did a squat, I was in high school.
Bro, that's a long time.
That is a long time. So you can imagine
yes,
what
it
his
is.
butt's going to feel like tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like,
tomorrow,
did you actually have muscle?
I mean, something helped me get back up. I don't know, man. I think I have a gluteus maximus that just, it heard the call and it answered.
Jesus.
Yep. So,
I love you just called it a Maximus.
yeah, I can't.
It's a real muscle.
I really can't feel it, but
That salt will help.
it better help something.
Actually, that might be your saving grace tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a salt mine. That's for sure. Went down the mine shaft.
just a bunch of gold. Down
Yeah,
there
there's
now.
a salt mine down there for sure. Pray to God my body finds what it
Yeah,
needs.
there's
to.
Chilean miners down there. They're just they're digging for something down there.
Dear
Right?
God, I hope they don't get stuck.
Goodness.
Lord help them.
Goodness.
Lord help 'em.
Goodness.
Anyways, yep. I would like to continue my physical journey, my physical pursuits in this season of my life.
That's
I want
good.
to live a long time, man.
That's
So
good.
yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, since you did CrossFit, Alex said he's going to do CrossFit. So now it sounds like we're just going to have to get together at least once a week to like do it.
I'm sorry. Maybe
Yeah.
once a month.
Yeah, no, I'd like for you to join.
I'll do
Let me
it.
take, let
Dave
me
did it,
take this
man.
moment to recruit you.
Would you do the same routine with me that you did with him?
What do you mean routine?
Depends on the day you show up.
I don't know what you did, so I'm defining
Let me
it
take
as
this
routine.
one, Ty. So there's different workouts, man. All right.
Okay.
Did I mention I did CrossFit today? Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here, everybody. That's the first rule of CrossFit. You need to let people know you did CrossFit.
Okay.
So here's the deal.
This is
Today,
healing.
the circuit
Healing.
training that we did involved squats. It all kind of revolved around squats. But I believe there's also some bench press involved.
There's no bench press today.
So basically what I was saying was the circuit training today revolved around squats,
He's in the corner just
which I would say is probably the most unnatural stance that I have in my arsenal. I don't squat, man. I don't squat for nothing.
Squat for nothing.
It's just not natural to me. Never been a squatter. Really just
not even California, which is okay.
I'm more
man.
of a stander, more of a sitter, more of a I don't know, not squatter. So today the squatting was very unnatural.
I can't wait to watch him worship tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
We
His
were
legs
talking
just
about
shaking.
that. If there's a point where he tells everybody to get down on their knees, you know why.
Yeah, I feel like the Lord's wanting us to sit down.
We won't, yeah. It'll either be a sit down,
Somebody bring me a
posture,
chair real quick.
or it'll literally be like guys, let's just get face down. I
Just the
really,
keys.
please
Just the keys and the voices. The keys and the voices.
let the music prophesy today, guys. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, yeah, ideal day for you. Yeah, working out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it can be for sure. But yeah, man.
So it's just squats. Like that's all you did.
Today?
No, we did
No.
we did a bunch of other stuff, man. You wouldn't get it, but
You wouldn't get it because you have never shown up. You still let your CrossFit hurt.
you wouldn't understand.
No, so today was build to a heavy 1 rep max squat. So just one time, right? And then that was the strength portion.
What was the weight? Was it 145 on each? Or
I
two?
would like to shout out my man Ty. He did set a personal record today.
Did you really?
he sure did.
I squatted 365 today.
That's insanity, dude.
It was awesome.
Whoa.
I went for 370, but I just couldn't tap in today.
It was almost there.
Almost there.
365.
Yeah, 365.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
My legs would snap.
Big body's only big.
Oh, they absolutely would.
I'd break my back in
Yeah.
half.
Yes.
Bro, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
he
man.
crushed it.
All glory to God.
And that's fun
It
to
is
know
fun. It is fun.
that you accomplished something.
Yeah, it was great. Like we talked about in the last episode, or we talked about in the CrossFit episode, it was like you're tapping into new levels that you didn't know your body can reach.
Mm.
Dude, I weigh like 180 and I squatted 365. That's kind of tight.
Oh, yeah,
Insane.
that's awesome.
It's insane.
But then the other part of the workout was you have 10 minutes, 10-minute clock, and you run 400 meters. When you get back, you pick up the bar, put it on your back, and you do 40 squats.
40, bro.
And then you end it with the 400-meter run. So it's like a dead sprint workout. But
Can I make a confession?
dude, you got to 39.
I didn't.
You need some water?
I maybe in a second.
He's struggling.
I only drink water when I want to drink water.
I do it by choice.
Nobody makes me drink my own water except for me.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Well, when you've had that much salt,
Yeah, I'm parched, bro.
Parched, yeah.
My steak was somewhere in the salt mine, dude. So, all right, I do need to confess something.
please.
I've been thinking a lot about it, and I just feel like it's the right place and the right time to really talk about it. Because I'm on Versed, you know what I'm saying? If I'm on Versed, I want I want to do it the right way.
You want to do things right, man.
So Ty, when we were running that last 400, remember I was asking you a question?
Yeah.
I said, how many did you get up to? And you answered and you said, 365. I said, yeah. But like, how many times? And you're like, oh, just once. We were totally not on the same page.
I thought something was off there.
I was under the impression that you did the 400, you came back, you did as many squats as you could until you did another 400, and then you come back and you finish up your squats.
So wait, so how many squats did you actually do then?
I got up to 26. I got to 26 because I wanted to make sure that when I came back, I wouldn't have to do more than what I had already done. So I was kind of holding back on the 400 because mentally I was like, dude, I still have to do 14 more squats.
Gosh.
And I really don't know how
And
I'm
I
going
was
to
like,
do
Dave,
that.
come on,
So you're
let's
like, come on. I'm
go.
like, all right. So when we're running, I'm in the headspace thinking that we all just did as many as we could because we got to clean up at the end and do the rest. So when I'm asking you, how many did you get up to? I was thinking you had maybe only done 30 as well or something, And
I just did one.
We got back through that door and I went straight back to where my,
His bar.
little bar is and quickly started to realize nobody's doing any more squats. So I kind of started walking around a little bit more. What was worry all of a sudden turned into yeah, good job, everybody. I thought I was going to be squatting another 14 times. Instead, I'm high-fiving everybody saying, good job, team.
And then he went to Jonah and was like, come here, give your dad a hug.
Oh, was Jonah there?
All three kids were there.
That makes it even better.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Karina and I were thinking. As if that was going to be a possibility that
They're
all
probably
three of our
watching
children could not bother us while we did a CrossFit workout.
Can I say that was probably, now it all makes sense. Because when I started running and you caught up to me and you're like, you did. You said, hey, how many did you get up to? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did 40 here, but you're supposed to do 42. So yeah, I just did one for 365.
So he's telling me about his personal record that he did, 15 minutes ago. I'm like, I don't think you're getting my question, man. So I just let it be. I was like, my lungs are burning right now.
Gosh.
I can't feel my legs.
And that's probably why he's hurting. That's probably why you're in pain. It's because you pushed your body too much.
Well, I didn't finish the workout. So maybe I'll take it, but I definitely didn't do as much as everybody else did.
So he was supposed to do 40 before finishing the set. It was only just one
You're supposed to
round.
do all 40 squats before you finish to do the last 400. I thought you just did as many as you could, do the last 400, and then come back and finish your squats.
Gosh.
So mentally, I was not in a good place
Hey,
finishing that last 400.
But you know what, man? It's about your heart.
Your heart was in it. That's all. You're getting.
My heart is about to have an attack because of the sodium intake I had earlier.
This
But
episode
I
is
digress.
about,
I digress.
This episode is about salt, sodium, CrossFit,
Watch us get sponsored by some sodium.
and what's fun about all of that. I don't know.
Jesus is in there somewhere, y'all.
Jesus is in there.
He's in there.
Speaking of Jesus, though, in all seriousness, do you think he had fun?
That's the loudest sip I've ever heard in my life.
100%.
That was
100%.
such an unnecessary sip volume.
It's my.
It
I
actually
approve of the sip. It was just the volume of the sip that I was
It
like.
sounded
this-
like you're actually just sipping a cup full of salt right now.
Okay.
All right, we're done talking about salt.
the tubes.
Salt and light of the earth, though.
Yep.
But yeah,
Did Jesus have fun though?
Did Jesus have fun?
Of course he did.
And now, what do you think he did that was fun? Like, what do you think was so much fun to Jesus? Like, the one thing that was like, oh, this gets me going, man.
Okay, I love to think about this because I think this is like the nature of, he's son of God, but he's the son of man, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people focus on, he knows you because he's been through what you've been through. He was tempted like you were tempted. But I think if you continue more of like the knowing, it's like, yeah, of course he was tempted and he overcame, right? So we can trust him in that way. But I think also there's more to that in terms of like the personality of Jesus,
Oh, that's so good.
like the common graces of God. And I like to think about it a lot, like when it talks about Jesus making his disciples breakfast on the beach.
Dude, I knew there was food involved.
That's such a great
knew
idea.
it.
Like
He
we
didn't
got
have
up
to
on
salt it.
Saturday. No, he didn't have to salt anything, man. He made it. He is the salt.
It was
Yeah.
perfect as it came.
He is the salt of the world.
So, sorry.
It was
Continue.
fine salt.
Very fine. Yeah, no, I just think about that. Like if we were to wake up on Saturday and like, let's go get breakfast. Let's go down to Newport, go to some extremely overpriced cafe and pay $50 for a latte. I don't know why I'm hating on Newport breakfast right now. But let's be honest, right? Anybody out there? Am I right? Am I right?
Hey, shout out Sessions, West Coast.
Hey, Sam Kim.
Let's go, Kimmy.
Hey, hook me up with that sponsorship, boy. I like how Aaron's in there sometimes too. Anyways, I just had to. I love it.
It's so good.
If we were to go, like, we'd want to invite our friends. It'd be so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, we'd have a blast. We'd laugh like we're laughing right now. I think of Jesus in that way of just like, he knows these guys. Like, these are his friends.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he is the savior of the world. He's going to save these guys' souls.
Yeah.
But he's also going to make them breakfast on the beach
100%.
and just have a joke, have a laugh, like connect with them on a real level. I think too of like when he says, let the children come to me.
Oh, it's so good.
I love that image because it's talking about the gospel so simple that even a child could understand. And it's these moments of the humanity of Jesus shining through, not in a sinful, way, but in like the way that just like the heart, just
Sure.
What are the things that you desire? What are the things that make you smile? What are the things that just bring you delight? And like he is the delight.
Yeah.
He is the satisfier of souls. Yeah. So not just in the obvious righteous things, but I think in just like some of the pure,
It's good.
human things. Whatever's pure, whatever's holy. If God can agree with it, I think he loves to be involved in it and be a part of it in a way that just creates that sense of joy. So I don't know. I think about that a lot with Jesus, and I love, just continuing those thoughts, whether it's in song or conversation, just like the nature of God, in the mundane, boring moments of his life. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall just to see how Jesus spent his time hanging out with his best friends.
For sure.
I wonder if he pranked.
Dude, I was thinking about that.
If he's perfect,
I think
if he's
about that
perfect, he
sometimes,
had
but
to have had the best sense of humor.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I think he's
You know what I'm
like thinking about like, I'm going to show up in their room after the resurrection.
I was
Like,
just thinking
here
that,
I
like
am.
him walking through a wall.
Well, yeah, like here I am. Like,
Yes.
like that is
Yes.
that's one of the most genuine pranks of all time. Like, come on.
Seriously.
Like, for sure.
And even knowing
planned
Thomas was going to doubt.
Oh, dude, he punked him so bad. Yeah, exactly.
1000%.
He's like, I'm gonna freak you out, boy. Look at the holes in my hands.
Yeah.
See the scar in my side. You
Give me your
spooked yet?
hand. Yeah. You believe?
You know what? You're gonna be doubting Thomas now. Like Jesus is kind of roasting him, dude. You know what I mean?
He did roast
He
people.
roasts Thomas.
He for sure roasted people.
I mean,
man.
literally to this day, thousands of years, multiple millenniums later, we're talking about doubting Thomas.
Oh, 100%.
Jesus gave him that nickname.
I don't have my other Bibles at home, but if you read through the Gospels, almost every time he exposes the Pharisees.
Oh, dude.
No.
He's having a
I
laugh.
did it. I wrote it down like 10 different times throughout Matthew all the way through John. Every time he would say something or expose the Pharisees, I would write next to it, boom, roasted.
100%.
Like
He
he
is.
roasted
Yeah,
the
he is.
Pharisees.
Yeah.
100%. No, I think, remember we were talking last time when he's in the temple and he's like, what are you guys doing? He's telling the Pharisees, like, tear these idols down, doing all, telling everybody, like, just stop what you're doing pretty much. And then they're questioning him, like, who are you? He goes, like, is John the Baptist from God? Like, is he the son of God? Or, basically what he was saying was like, I will tell you who I am if you tell me who John the Baptist was. Right. And they couldn't answer the question.
Yeah.
And then he goes, then I'm not going to tell you who I come from, basically,
Totally.
because you won't understand it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Yeah.
He's playing. He's
yeah,
playing
for
with
sure.
him.
Like I think that's what he enjoyed doing too. I think he was
Absolutely.
like, I'm gonna treat you the way you want to treat me right now, man.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to go in, then we don't have to.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
I think the worst
Walkway.
Clever.
roast Jesus ever gave to the Pharisees was, "You whitewashed wall."
Yeah, it's pretty rough, dude. Yeah, he snapped.
So food, humor, and roasting.
Yeah, yeah, he roasted.
I could
for
get
sure.
with that.
Yeah,
I could get with that.
that's my Jesus.
But a righteous roast,
Yeah,
like a
That's my God.
a righteous roast.
yes,
That's good.
Yes.
Righteous roasting. That might be a topic.
that's
Righteous
nice.
roasting.
I like that. I like
With
that.
no salt.
No salt needed. Because Alex already seasoned it.
That's it. We're done here. We're done eating salt.
Do you think there was a little bit? This might be, I don't want to say controversy, but do you think there would be a little bit of joy in Jesus when he went in the temple and made a whip and cleaning the temple out, flipping tables and whipping? I mean, slapping that whip on people, like getting everyone out of the temple. But I know it was, he was furious because that's the Lord's temple. But at the same time,
But it's like Dave is saying, like he's perfect. So he did everything in such a perfect manner. So there was a righteous anger behind his actions.
I mean, think it like this: like at the end of a trial, when the right verdict is read, there's a joy and the justice that's brought when it's like when yes, it was right. That was the right decision. I feel like he had that surge of adrenaline in the human form of who he was, of like knowing this is right and knowing that good is going to prevail today and drive out whatever evil tried to pervert what was meant to be, mine, was meant to be the Lord's.
oh yeah,
So 100%, I think he totally had like this is going to be sick.
oh yeah. Have you ever heard Shia LaBeouf's intake on like his perspective on Jesus, the pictures of like Jesus and stuff like that?
I think
after he had filmed, apparently he got like I think he got like saved, but his perspective, he was telling some lady in an interview, he was like, my own perspective is, when I look at those pictures of Jesus, he looks so sad, but it's interesting knowing who the man Jesus is. There has to be joy behind it because he was doing something once and for all.
So good.
For all of humanity. It was a sacrifice that he was willing to lay down his life
100%.
for all humanity, for eternity.
Yeah.
You know?
I think too,
That's cool.
when you say it like that, I think because he's the son of God. Like it's 3 in 1, right? So he knew what was about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew, like he was in heaven, he's about to come down. He's like, oh, just get ready. Like he had fun probably knowing like what was about to happen at the same time.
Even to like that, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross.
Yeah.
And like, what was the joy? It was like, it was people.
Yeah.
Like that's who he loves. For God so loved the world, he gave his son. So even in the moment when he clears the temple, I think the joy that brought him wasn't necessarily maybe like, yeah, I got him good, which was probably true, but also like how this will now help restore people.
Yeah, that's good.
This is the temple, and this is where people are going to meet with the Father. And I want that so much so that I'm going to bring a righteous judgment, a righteous anger to this situation to make what's been crooked straight again, bring it back right. And so
That's good.
and I think that is, back to kind of the original point of where we started this was like what brings the Lord joy.
That's good. That's good.
I think it's us.
Mm-hmm.
He is our reward. Like everything about it, he is the reward of life. Jesus, simply Jesus. But we are his. And one day at the marriage supper of the Lamb,
That's so good.
we will enter into eternity and there will be Jesus, the King, on the throne with the Father and the Spirit, and they will see their bride come down.
That's good.
And like that's their reward.
That's good.
This is the price we paid.
That's good.
And now the fullness of the return is coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, there's not just one thing that Jesus did to have fun. It was anything that literally brought the Father joy.
Yeah.
If it brings the Father joy,
Yeah.
It can
about
be
it.
counted as
Yep.
fun. Like,
Yep.
if this is fun.
Yeah,
Who's got it better than us?
totally.
Nobody. Let's go, baby.
And I think to kind of end all this, I think that the invitations every day is we get to find that joy, because without Jesus, we're literally nothing. And I think the fulfillment of, and you'll hear me say this a lot, but it's the dying to self, and it's waking up knowing, and it's amazing to have the thought, God literally created the day. I think I said this the other day on another episode, but I will always say the same things, but it's just because of what it's done through my life. But knowing that God created the day, he knows the day. If we die to self and he's filled up, we allow him to fill us up. That's how we're going to survive the day. But it's the joy that we get to wake up and live another day.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And it's the fulfillment of his word. I wake up. It cannot be about me today. God, it has to be about you, because it's about the fulfillment of your promise through your son, Jesus, in my life, because I'm just a broken vessel. And I think that's the joy that we get to, it's the joy unspeakable that's full of all of the glory of heaven and of God that gets to, oh my gosh, a minister said this years ago that I heard at a conference, but he said, it's amazing that we're not dead because of how powerful the Holy Spirit is. Like the fact that the Spirit of God, from the very beginning, what he spoke, the spirit that hovered over the earth, that lives in us. And the fact that we're not dead, the fact that we get to carry that. There's a cost, but it's a privilege that we get to carry that. But there's a joy in that, you know?
For sure.
And we might not fully grasp it or fully understand it now, but it's the fact that we get to pursue that every single day. And there's an invitation to that. And it's just the joy of the Lord that's an invitation that we get to grab a hold of.
I think about that a lot when it comes to the difference between happiness and joy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Happiness is the feeling. Feelings are fleeting, but joy is the person.
That's good.
The person of Jesus, and it's the fruit of his spirit.
Yeah.
And so that's the promise he makes, and his word never comes back empty. And so on the daily, like you said, when you've set out to pursue a life that's full, a life that's fun, a life that's got this sense of fulfillment to it. With the Lord, you discover quickly the things that used to bring you a sense of happiness or contentment pale in comparison to knowing the person of Jesus, knowing the presence of Jesus, and engaging in this newfound passion for life that creates these memories that truly are eternal.
That's good.
And that's what I love about the presence of God. There's fullness of joy in his presence.
Yeah.
And the thing about the presence is that it never dies. Like it's forever. It's eternal. And so these moments that we capture here on earth, having fun and doing the things that you said, they require the dying to self. But then once you've laid down your life, you put on Christ.
That's so good.
And Christ, he's the fullness of,
That's it.
of living, man. He's the life worth living.
It's the best. I think we'll wrap that one up because I'm wrecked.
That was perfect. That was awesome.
High five, boys.
Whoa, I never done it with three hands. That was fantastic.
What's that I feel?
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Let's go.
We love you guys.
We love you so much.
We love Jesus more.
Dave, thank you for thank you for being on.
Boys,
This is not just an honorary guest.
You know,
this is
I-
our like.
He will be a regular.
He's an
FYI.
honorary regular.
I'm speechless. I'm quite speechless. What can I say?
Well, hey, we just want to say Jesus loves you. If you're driving to work, if you're waking up, whatever you're doing, we don't know what time of the day you're going to be listening to this.
Or what year you're living in.
Yeah, this could be 2040.
It could be 2044 when the next solar eclipse is happening.
Yeah, you could be
In
listening to the
Mazalon.
next eclipse, listening to this podcast. Prophetic. But we love you guys. Jesus loves you. And we just pray the joy that is unspeakable and full of glory. That's Jesus. Jesus joy is a person. It's Jesus.
Amen.
And we just want to say, we love you guys, and Jesus loves you.
Amen.
Peace.
If this episode impacted you in any way, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone else you might think will be positively impacted by it too.
Let's get it.
Let's go.